Good afternoon, folks. I'm Peter.
And I'm Paul, and this is the P&P Podcast.
The P and P podcast.
So,
You
Peter,
know, huh?
how's your tea?
My tea?
Yeah, how's that tea? Is it hot?
Not anymore, though.
No?
No.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's getting hot up in this country, in this world.
My tea's cold, but the world's on fire, bitch. Again. Okay.
Again.
So, yeah, like I said, what was our title? What in the world? You want to start with it?
Where could I start? I mean, okay. California, they still don't have control of the Pacific Palisades fire. We saw the situation where one of the gentlemen, I guess he was not even a citizen, but he was out with a torch or something starting fires for the Brent or one of the other fires. And they're just letting the people back in to go, survey the damage and the loss. And our hearts are still out there for them. I mean, yeah, still going through it.
Yeah, it's a sad thing for sure. I thought about it. Yeah, social media, once again, we're always talking about social media. Of course, we're on social media. We're part of social media. So, of course, we're always going to talk about it. But, you see so many things nowadays, so many heartbreaking things, and you just don't know anymore. What happened to humanity? Honestly, what?
Looters going in there, taking, they're like, not only did they just lose their house, now they got people going into their neighborhoods trying to take whatever they have left.
Oh, of course. And people who are, there's bad people still regardless in this world. They just don't give a goddamn about anyone but themselves, and it's terrible. So where do we begin in all this madness? Where do we begin? What is, all our topics are steamy, controversial, and not pleasant. So pick one to start with, and we'll take it from there.
Well, you've been bringing some information to me that I'm unaware of because not being from Florida, I don't know, what's going around all of, the United States, but something about this
The
club
infamous
owner.
Southern Knights, yes, in Orlando. Yeah, that's, no matter how you slice it, it's just not going to come out. It's just not going to come out right. You know what I mean? I don't care what anybody says. But yeah, what's happening is the two owners of Southern Knights in Orlando, Southern Knights in Tampa, and District Dog were brought up on charges of child pornography and child endangerment or something along that line. It's here. I'm trying to pick it up. And, now they talked about how the owners relinquished ownership to someone else to try and save the club's name, But my take on this is, I've said to people before on Facebook when they asked about, should they go to this club or not, my take on it is you can't wash the stink off a skunk, shall we say? Once something is done, it's hard to undo it. You know what I mean? You can certainly say you transferred ownership, but it doesn't really take away the fact that you own these clubs. Who's to say what you did or didn't do in this club? Who's to say that the club wasn't involved at all? I would like to believe it wasn't, but who knows what happens after hours, correct?
Yeah, because after hours is when all the not so good stuff happens. We know
And
that.
I understand all the employees, and I do. It's their livelihood. And then they sit there and say, we've always tried to make it safe and welcoming for the community. And that's great. I understand that. But again, you got this other side of the story where these two owners are bringing up on these god awful charges, and you sit there and say, how do you find safety in any of that? You can't put these two together and come out okay.
Were they, when you say child pornography, I mean, are we talking kiddie or are you talking like teenagers?
Under the age of 12.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty sad if you ask me.
Yeah, yeah.
That isn't good at all. I'm trying to look it up here. Give me 1 second. I apologize. I'm in the wrong drive. Here we go.
You go ahead, because I talked to a friend of mine that's down over in the Tampa area, because I know Southern Knights is over there too, because I initially went to Southern Knights over there. So I know that they're cross, they got the two bars there. He said the guys weren't old. So we're not talking old trolls. I mean, they're in their what, 40s, 50s, right? They're not old.
Maybe I don't know their actual age. I know who they are. Here's a little part about here, and it says the former owner of a popular nightclub in Orlando is being faced federal charges after indictments say he and another defendant were sexually involved with teenagers. Is what it says here. So, and further down, it talks about how it. Let me just find it really quickly here. It says the indictment references text conversation between the two defendants where they discuss how to find young boys online. That's not too good. You know what I mean? It also says during this same time, records indicate the two defendants met a 15-year-old and distributed sexual images of the minor back and forth. Now, I could go on and on and on. I don't want to go more with this. It's disturbing as all can be. And yet you have the lawyers sitting there saying, oh, they're pleading innocent. Listen, people, I don't know these two owners. I don't. But when they found these things on your phone and they see these things, how on earth are you going to sit there and say you didn't do it? How?
Well, you want to basically, you always want to say you're innocent until proven guilty, because that's what the court of law is. You have to go through the channels. So they're doing, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
They're doing what the lawyers is suggesting, and that's great. I don't know about you, but I don't think they're innocent.
These clubs, now I'm assuming these clubs are a 21 over club, and obviously these are.
I've gone to Southern Nights back in the day. I tried to go during Gay Pride Orlando last year, but it was so crowded and a friend of mine wasn't feeling good, so we didn't go. The line was huge. It's a popular club, by all means, without a doubt. It's a very popular club and people love to go there. I believe it's, because I know you have to get carded, so I would like to believe it's 21 and over. But again, what's that? Right. The age of big IDs, come on. You know what I mean? This is 2025, people. I mean, you can easily get whatever you need to get in wherever you need to get in. I don't know. I don't want to say anything bad about. I'm sure I'm sure it's absolutely true. The people who work there, the management, of course, I would like to believe that they have no involvement. So I understand them there. But the problem, once again, as I always say, is once it's in this ear and it bounces around your head, it's kind of hard to get rid of. Right. You know what I mean? Will the club survive? Will the club close? I don't know. Only time will tell. Will these two be indicted? Well, again, I don't know. Only time will tell. The whole point of the matter is that I find to be disturbing or just causing trouble amongst LGBT communities. We don't need this sort of thing right now in this political arena. This isn't going to go down well for us. We have enough problems out there. I was telling you about how someone, and I think you saw the post on Facebook, was recently bashed or hurt coming out of a club. Was it a hate crime? I don't know. They say that it was, and it could have been, but he's not the first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with the Orange Man coming into office, what, in a couple of days? Right? When's the inauguration?
Monday.
Yeah.
The 20th. There's
just so much going on in the world right now, and none of it pleasant.
No, well, it bruises. I mean, it doesn't physically bruise me, but the community, the gay community, because I told you when you were talking about that, we have a situation in Cohoes, New York, where I shared that with you. This gay couple, they had a child, 6 months old, and they were feeding it crystal meth in a pacifier.
I don't understand that at all.
I'm thinking, first of all, how did not that that's just not a why question. It's how you deserve to be going to jail, first of all, because that's a child, the welfare of a child. We got our rights to where we could adopt children and, we can have families. And now you're going
in married.
Right. And this is coming out to where I think one of the gentlemen tried to take his husband or boyfriend out of the country to Mexico or something. And that's, they're both basically, they were having I don't know, a sex party or whatever, but I don't know why they were putting crystal meth on a pacifier and fed it to a child.
I don't want to know why. Honestly, I don't. because even I don't know about you. Well, I do know about you. I'm sure you agree with me. I couldn't even begin to think about child pornography. Even if I tried, my brain just will automatically block out anything because it's just so absolutely wrong, you know, that anyone with any amount of decency wouldn't even be able to think about it at all, period. You know what I mean? You could say the word to me and immediately my brain will block out anything because it's just so horrid. I don't want to think about it. You know, I don't want to think about it at all. I don't want to try to think about it. It is the most awful thing. It truly is the most awful thing in so many ways. You know what I mean? And again, there's obvious, it's like anything else, maybe not like anything else, where if someone, like a lot of stars today, a lot of celebrities, a lot of people in the mainstream have issues. There's so many of them. P. Diddy, for one. You don't know, just because you're a celebrity, just because you're a club owner of 3 fabulous clubs or whatever, it doesn't mean that you're susceptible to something being mentally wrong with you. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
You don't know who, you could be as rich as, you know, Mr. Musk. I'm trying to bring his name up, and still have problems. Well, he has problems, but you know what I mean. It doesn't exempt you from having character flaws. You know. So the point I'm making, or the point I'm trying to get to, is that obviously they have issues and they need to seek help. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
regardless.
Pete, the funny you thing about you bring about P Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever he goes by. You know, it's quiet now. We haven't heard too much about it. I didn't realize that his then girlfriend, mother of his children, the twins, she died at 47 of pneumonia and had there was I was looking at this article and she had a child with Albie Shore, but Albie Shore was trying to bring things up and she warned him, be careful because I mean, there's this whole like underground thing that we don't know about P Diddy that he did. Obviously he's in jail, so he did something like these guys at Southern Nights. They're in the courts because there's a reason. There was facts. There were actual evidence found
That's true.
about wrongdoing.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, in this world, you do wrong. I mean, you should be prosecuted, and you shouldn't be able to be president of the United States. But here we are, 2025, and we're going to be watching an inauguration of someone that was
That's
indicted on
full
crimes.
of a lot of craziness. So let's spin off to that one for a second and talk about all the wonderful celebrities who are joining in on this wonderful circus. You know, here at the P&P podcast, I like to believe that we're not necessarily one-sided. You know, I like to think that we're independent thinkers, the two of us. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say, oh, you should never vote for President Trump. Everyone has the right to vote for who you want to. That's what makes America. That's what makes America great. Not the other nonsense they want to put on the plate. But the fact that we are able to voice our opinions, we are able to be who we want to be, regardless of who you are. Black, white, yellow, gay, straight, transgendered, it doesn't matter. What makes America great is all of that and none of the other.
Yeah, we'll look at who is it? The Village People. I mean,
Those people.
they're going to actually sing, and I at this point you had brought up music is the way we all connect and understand. I just think that I mean, they have a huge gay following, and I think it's honestly, I think it's a slap to the face. I'm going to say that.
They do, but they know that. And here's the thing with them that I'm not saying that I believe them, but I'm not saying I don't. Not all the members of Village People are gay. I don't think that many of them are. I know the gentleman who's speaking for them isn't. So what twist they're doing right now and for what reason is, I'm not sure I understand it. Now listen, it all comes down to money, regardless of how you slice it. And those people now, supposedly, their song now has hit the charts again and is climbing. They're making the royalties from all these songs that are being hit again. So let's not be crazy and say that it isn't for the money, because it is. All right, there is no other reason. If you knew that your songs were LGBT friendly and you were okay with that and you projected that, and now you want to come and say, oh, YMCA was never a gay anthem. Okay, well, I don't think that anybody said it was truly a gay anthem. It's just the way you sang it made it feel like it was. And you didn't correct it at the time that it came out. Why the time that when it came out, you not correct it then and say it's not a gay anthem? Now all of a sudden you want to come out and say it's not a gay anthem? Okay, maybe it never was, and that's fine and dandy. But if you do support the LGBT community and you are saying that you know that your songs are LGBTQ friendly, why would you go against this community?
But they were basically in drag. I mean, come on, a construction worker, an Indian, a cop.
Listen, you know what they were trying to do? They were representing every walk of life, so to speak, at that time, and it was great. Well, let's sit back here for a second and think. Did we really know any of them were gay? Did any of them actually say they were? Did they actually come out, or did we all just assume?
Probably assume.
We did. Okay, so we can't really blame the village people for all of a sudden saying, "Listen, no one said we were gay." It isn't like today when everybody's outing everybody.
Right.
Wearing dresses and doing Lord knows whatever they want to do. It's different then. I'm not backing up the village people. I'm just saying that I understand certain points of what they're saying. What I don't understand, which many people don't understand, is them supporting Trump.
Yeah. Carrie Underwood,
Jason Aldean, Kid Rock, and many, many more. The list goes on.
Right.
The list goes on. And here's my thing. Whatever. It's fine. Why should they not be allowed to support who they want to support? Why should they be allowed?
Whoopi Goldberg said that actually. She was saying it on The View about Carrie Underwood. She could she respects her. She can do whatever she wants. It's her opinion. It is her right to choose what she wants to do, and I get it. I mean, I'm not going to not stop listening.
All of them. It's all of their rights to do what they want. I don't listen to Carrie Underwood in the first place. But I have to say, if someone, I don't listen to any of those artists, actually, except the Village People, but that was so many years ago. Who listens to it now? It's so hokey, it's not even funny. I'm not certainly going to go singing that song, I'm not going to look it up on the radio. I've been there, done that. You know what I mean? But I don't listen to any of those people that they're mentioning anyway, so it's not even a big deal to me. I don't support you anyways, financially. I don't download your music. I don't listen to your music, so I don't really care. All I'm saying is that you do what you want to do, but here's what you need to understand. For every action, what is there?
A reaction.
Exactly. Okay? So, Miss Underwood and the rest of you, understand that your fan base might shrink. And if you're okay with that, then you're okay with that.
Yeah.
That's on you. Because the same way we cannot tell you how you can be, you can't tell us.
That's true. Yeah. No, I mean, because Carrie Underwood, I mean, I do like some of her songs. She gonna, I remember Jesus take the wheel. It's a great analogy of a song, and because she just couldn't handle life, and was crazy, and I think coming from American Idol, which I love, music is a universal language. So I agree with these artists. They have their choice to sing or perform wherever they want to. My question is, I wonder how much money they're getting to do this inauguration. Is this free or is this,
what celebrity does things for free? What's the charity event? Even then, you know what I mean? There's no such thing I think is free.
I think Katy Perry, they're doing a benefit for the fires. Katy Perry, Billie Eilish. There was another,
and they might be doing it for free.
Yeah, that I think is
and what are we going to say? We're not rich people, maybe one day. So we can't really understand the minds of people who have all this money and what they should or shouldn't do with it, how they should or shouldn't react. So much is put on celebrities, so much is put, even us. We're not celebrities, but we're out there, people do see us. One day people might judge the things we think about. It's quite possible. So who am I to say how a celebrity should act or not act?
Well, you bring up the rich people. So let's bring up the rich people. Let's bring up the billionaires who will be sitting front row in the inauguration.
They are. Like we really care.
Bezos, Elon Musk,
Zuckerberg,
Sundar I can't even say, how do I know it? Sundar Pichai from, I mean, okay, I actually did this breakdown. Okay, Elon Musk, who, SpaceX, Tesla, billionaire.
Right.
Bezos, who has
Almost a trip.
Amazon, Bezo, whatever you want to call him. But he has Amazon, and what the interesting thing I was just seeing on Amazon, they are starting to deliver drugs, prescriptions, and vehicles now. So now they're just blowing up even more. Google, Sonder, and the thing about Sonder and Google, which initially I kind of did a little digging further, Alphabet, which is the owner of this Google, YouTube, Fitbit, and Woz. I mean, they only own 3%. It's a public entity, but still, him and Larry Page. But then you go down the list: Mark Zuckerberg, Tim Cook of Apple, and then TikTok. Xiao Zi Chu, or am I saying it right? Xiao Zi Chu, I guess is how you say it. The
Yeah.
TikTok thing. I mean, these billionaires that are going to sit in the front row, they literally could take a little chunk of their money. I didn't see one of them giving any money to the LA fires, which where a lot of these companies are based out of. I didn't see them giving money to, help out. Because I always say, if you got the wealth or you got more than you can handle, why are you not sharing a little?
Again, though, we're not in their shoes. Who says they have to? Just because you have all that money doesn't mean you have to. They're not. Same with celebrities having to come out and not come out, having to support the weight of the LGBT community and so forth. It's not anyone's. No one has to do what they don't want to do. Do we? You know what I mean? So we have to think about just because you got money doesn't mean, oh, you're supposed to give it out? No. But don't get me wrong, you would think they'd want to help, of course. But we can't sit there and say, oh, you got all this money, why don't you give it? That's not right of anybody. How can we be, you know what I mean? How can we be fair if we're not being fair? Just because you have that money doesn't mean you got to give it out. Some celebrities do. Look at Keanu Reeves. He goes above and beyond on the things he does. Again, I go back to, it all depends on what's up here. Do you have
Yeah.
passion? Are you compassionate? Who are you as a person deep down? If you weren't already that person deep down, well, you're not going to be that person when you have all this money. What's the difference? It has to be here first or here first before it can be here.
It definitely has to be here in the heart,
Yeah,
because
so
I
if you
think
don't
that's
have a heart, if you don't give a god darn, well, then you don't give a god darn. You know what I mean? I know it's sad to say, but it's the truth. We cannot sit there and say, oh, Now, would I, if I had a lot of money, give it away? Heck yeah, I would help anybody I could. Why? I got a big heart. Not everybody does. Obviously,
yeah,
not
obviously
everybody
no.
does.
No.
That's what they're sitting there. So, bye, TikTok.
I mean,
I did
you're
not
not.
know that was President Biden's idea. He's the one who banned them. But now they're saying all over the news, of course, nowadays on Facebook, you don't know what's truthful anymore anyway, because it's all made up. But now they're claiming that Trump had his hand in banning this just so he could turn around, look like a good guy, and bring them back. Because now Trump's going to decide, once he's in office, if he's going to overturn that ban and let TikTok come back. So, you know what? Everything is a play. You know what I mean? This is a show. All of it. It's all it ever is. Politics, celebrities, doesn't matter. It's all a show. Everyone's doing something for some reason. Whether it's good or it's bad. Mostly bad. But they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's what it is. Everyone has an agenda, and it's a shame. It's a shame that that's what it's about. But it is.
Well, I mean, TikTok. The interesting thing is, I'm seeing these people are freaking out because I know some people actually have a business on TikTok, right? It's
A
it's
lot of
part of their
people do.
business,
A lot
right?
of influencers are making a lot of money, and now they're going to lose it.
Yeah.
It's
So,
a
I
real
mean,
thing.
in one hand, if you're not on TikTok, I guess you're gonna have to go get a job.
They were saying on Facebook, and that's terrible. You know what I mean? They did have a job. They did. You know what I'm saying? They did. And then they're all talking about flocking to Red Note and Lemon 8. I researched both of those. I'm not one to jump on the bandwagon. I'm waiting to see where that bandwagon's going. Because if the thing catches on fire, I don't want to be on it when it happens. You know what I mean? They're all jumping on these things and trying to learn Mandarin and trying to have all this fun on these sites that are just going to disappear. Because they're going to either get banned, they're all Chinese based, they're just going to get banned, or something's going to happen to them. They're not going to be here. It's like Facebook. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depends on how you look at it, Facebook is such a big entity. It's probably one of the hugest social platforms we have. People just will not leave that. I won't leave it. It's a good social base, regardless of Zuckerberg's views. I don't. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but then the host of Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary, initially said that he would buy TikTok, right? Because
They don't want to
that's the
sell
whole
it.
thing,
Why would they want
right?
to sell it? The money they're making, they don't want to sell that. Would you?
No, I mean, I guess not. I mean, they will. I mean, well, what's going to happen? Okay, so Trump's going to get into office. I mean, obviously, if he gets
Trying to
these,
bring it back. That's what he's going to do.
so
Probably.
he'll look like a savior.
Yeah. That's what's on the net now. He's looking like a savior. He's going to try and save all the things that other presidents did bad. Let me come fix this. You know what I mean? Again, a show. It's all a show. I don't use TikTok, so it doesn't really, it's not my platform. So it doesn't matter to me that it's gone. I'm sad for people who are influencers. I mean, I don't use it, so I don't see these people who are influencers. I don't see what they're doing. I don't buy their products. I'm not on it. I haven't shopped the TikTok shop, nor will I. You know what I mean? There's other places to shop. How long are we going to keep supporting these mega entities and not supporting smaller businesses or smaller things that could use our help? I mean, you already got Amazon you buy from. You got all these outlets, and now all of a sudden you're buying off of TikTok. I don't know.
I actually don't purchase. I've got to. I'm kind of very stern about this. I would try I mean, I maybe out of the year once I bought on Amazon, but I try not to buy on Amazon. I try to shop locally. We have a couple of stores. Explore the Borough, which I get my stones and my gems from, my bracelets. I go to my Market 32, which is a local store here. Shopping, I try to support locally. Calvin
I
Klein,
try
my
to
at
too.
the
I
outlet.
go to a lot of thrift shops, small thrift shops and things like that. I don't support the big ones, and the Goodwill's getting out of hand with their pricing and everything. I mean, you can find some great things. I'm a thrifty without a doubt. I love to go to them. I just found some the other day. I bought, what I mean, a lot of great stuff that I own. I have bought from the thrift shop because, unfortunately, they're items that either someone passed away or moved or didn't want, and and some of them are practically brand new, and they just end up in there for charity. Some of these charities, like Salvation Army, Goodwill, I don't know. I think their profit margin is so huge now, they're out of control. That's why I try to go to the smaller thrift shops, because they actually are. Their money's going to charity, small charities. Their stores are open just for that specific reason, to go to that one charity, like the SPCA thrift shop that I go to. It's all for the dogs, and the people and the animals in the SPCA. So I know that all the proceeds are going there. The prices, they can be high, they can be low. It depends. It's weird, But again, in this economy, with the price of things, everything goes up,
Yeah, we have a lot of. I don't know. You guys must have like craft fairs where your local craft
Lots.
artists,
Mhm.
which I like that idea because I literally am meeting the person at the building this product, or whether it's a gift or soaps, because I see a lot of people are making their own soaps.
Yeah, I feel like a lot
Um,
of things. Yeah, that's
yeah,
what I'm saying. A lot of those things on TikTok, a lot of those people who are creating all these things are going to lose. Going to lose a lot. And I understand that, but I mean, they're shifting gears. I think they're starting to supposedly go to Instagram. So everyone's trying to pop over there and set their anchor in Instagram, which is fine. I do use Instagram. Well, I don't use Instagram. Facebook's tied to it, so whatever I do on Facebook will flop over on Instagram. I
because
can't.
Instagram is it Meta? It's the
Meta,
same
yeah,
thing, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's Mark Zuckerberg. So I mean,
Mhm.
in essence, you're still supporting Mark Zuckerberg, which we know. Last week we brought up the point, which I was a little misinformed. Like I thought that he was taking diversity and inclusion away from the employees, but you delve a little bit farther and realize that no, it's taking like the with the fact checkers and like being able to comment on literally Facebook of
Mhm.
hate
Oh, yeah, you're not
information.
seeing the stuff that's on there now. It's crazy. It's crazy. Someone just recently said on there, talking about the word faggot and saying that it's not a good word amongst the gay community, which it isn't. We don't use it. We don't even use it lovingly to each other. But again, I go back to Joe Jackson. Don't call me a faggot unless you are a friend. But that was such a long time ago. But no, we don't use that word. But the fact that they were actually saying it, the fact that they're actually able to put this horrible stuff. First off, why would you want to? Just because you're able to, does that make it right? So go and do it just because, oh, you can? What does it say about you? I don't understand people. I don't. You
No,
know?
we had a situation. I was watching somebody, a friend of mine, that says that he was at the supermarket and his friend, and this is not really gay related. This I believe this is because he was Spanish or Latin, but literally the guy was screaming in his face, told him to go back to your country. And I'm like, wait a minute here. We're going backwards because if we're saying that, it's no different than using that N word that we know. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even giving it
I don't
credit.
say the word. You know?
No, I mean, there's certain words that you just, I mean, just it's disrespect, and in this climate, it's almost it goes back to Trump making it okay to be rude, and it's not okay to be rude
Never
and
was.
hurtful. Never
No.
was. No, no. It's called. I mean, do you have? It's just integrity, and it's called. It's morals. You need to, as a human being, respect that other person, even if they have a different view, a different culture, different religion, a different belief. It goes back to, like, Carrie Underwood, or even, like, the Village People. Yeah, fine, they can do whatever they want, and you can have an opinion, but when you're stating your opinion, have a little class.
Mhm. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
probably that's the right
Exactly.
word. Have some
Yeah.
class.
Yeah. The correct thing to do is agree to disagree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The village people, I think, are handling it nicely. They're not really being rude about it, not that I have seen, So when you respond that way, people can respect you more and understand your situation. If you can explain it, with just common decency and being nice about it, about them saying how it wasn't this. They're not like saying, "Oh, you freaking gay people are thinking that's an answer." They're not screaming like that. They're just stating a fact. And the thing about it is, I believe that they're true. No one ever said it was. We just turned it into it. So the things they're saying, they're right about. So they're handling it right. You know, am I mad at the village people for being? First off, I'm not mad at any of them for going to. Apparently, 75 million people, is that the number, voted him in, or something like that, and that's a lot of people. So how on earth are we going to think that every celebrity on earth today is a Democrat or believed in her and not him? Well, come on, we're
Well,
intelligent
the
people.
interesting thing that you bring up about that is about how many people voted, and I always like the inauguration because I mean, I'm going to watch it. I mean, I have to. It's part of our democracy, and I just you won't see the full ramifications or the full effect because now he's doing it inside because it's a little too cold. But Obama, when he did it, it was freezing, but they still did it outside. You saw the stream of people. You're only going to see, you're not going to see the effect. But I know there's people that are going down there to protest it. Which
Of course,
listen,
you
if
know.
you're going to protest it, don't make this like the resurrection. What he did previously. Just there's peaceful protesting. You can protest it, and that's your civic right, your duty, whatever you want to call it. But just have class about it. Be respectful. I value your opinion, and my opinion is my opinion. But don't go and get out of control, and don't get hateful.
Listen, they're going to. That's the world today, unfortunately. It's probably the reason why he's doing it inside is for safety. Not that I don't think he didn't plan that getting shot in the air, because Lord knows with him he probably did. I mean, can't put anything past that man. But I mean, I don't. How do you say it? You and I, we're those kind of people, and we can only hope that a lot of other people are like us, who you just have some decency. Have some
Yeah,
decency. People are allowed to be
yeah,
who they want to be. Allowed to like who you want to like. If you don't like them for those reasons, then don't follow them. Don't speak with them. It doesn't mean
yeah.
you have to spew hate at them. Don't spew hate at them, because all you're doing is proving everybody's point. All this hatred. You can let this man bring on a side of us that none of us want to bring out or should. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking about opinions. Just the other day, or yesterday, when I was driving with my friend down around the Galley district here in this Melbourne area, it's an art district. A lot of people out there protesting about the abortion ban, the abortion. And I said to my friend, and we both had different opinions, but I said I wasn't mad at them for doing it. because it seemed like they were doing it. It wasn't out of hand. They had signs, and it didn't say anything really horrible. There were some pictures that were kind of graphic, and they probably shouldn't put them out there, but they got their point across. But what I'm saying is, I could have been like, oh, or other people could have been like that. And I think there was even two sides of the street. One was pro, and one was anti. But they were good about it. They were civilized because not that I want to hop on this because we're not really a political arena. We aren't. We just talk about whatever is going on in the world today. But abortion, I mean, there's good. It's like anything else in this world. There are good and bad sides to it. People just have to see them. Just because someone has a point to make and they seem to bang it in your head, doesn't necessarily mean that that point is wrong. Listen to them first. You might find out that they're right, or not that they're right so much, but that the point they're making is valid. You know what I mean? My
I
point in
do.
taking is to say there are certain things I don't believe in abortion to a point. If someone is raped, I believe should be allowed to have abortion. If the fetus is beyond a certain term where it's now the heart is beating, I don't think you should have abortion. If you were out having a good time because you had too much to drink and didn't think about safety, you shouldn't have an abortion. That's your fault, not the child you're about to bear. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's certain things that I can understand. People say women's it's our right. What do you mean it's your right? It's also your right to be careful when you have sex. If you don't want to have a child, don't you think you should protect yourself from that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and I am pro-choice, and I always say, it's a woman's choice. It's not my choice. I can't have children, and I don't think I have any rights to tell a woman what to do, and because she's going to ultimately pay for the consequences if she wants to get the abortion. I mean, depending on what term she's in, there's a slippery slope there, but it's a woman's choice because as well as I know that the political arena is not a place to decide whether a woman can, what her situation is and telling her what she can or cannot do with her own body. It's
Right,
it's like it's like a man telling you, or the political arena telling you, you can't have sex with men.
right.
I
No, but
mean,
what I'm saying, which I think you might be missing, is that I understand that it's a woman's choice, but here's what people are missing. Isn't it a woman's choice before she has sex with someone to go in it smart? Wear a condom. Get on some protection. You can't go say it's a woman's choice. I understand that it is, but where is it okay for her to knowingly go and have wild sex or whatever she wants to? Now all of a sudden she's pregnant. Now she decides, oh, couldn't she have avoided that in the first place by simply wearing a condom or going out and buying the what is it that they take to prevent pregnancy? Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
I'll be just going to say it's your choice. What do you mean? It's like me saying I don't know what. Um, I don't know how to put it, but you get what I mean. Yeah, I understand it's your choice, but that doesn't really make any sense. So you're saying, well, if I want to go get pregnant and have a child and then decide I don't want it, well, that's my choice. Well, that's kind of mean, don't you think? And not really thoughtful. That's not. Why do you just not have that problem in the first place? Then you don't have to make that choice. Do you know what I mean?
Uh,
That's all I'm saying. People look at it differently. You know, it's like me. It's like anybody. If you don't want to catch a sexually transmitted disease, well, then protect yourself. You can't go, oh, well, I was drunk, or oh, it was the heat of the moment. Well, then who is to blame for that? We have to think sometimes. You know what I mean? An
hmm.
ounce of prevention with anything in life. Think before you act. You
Uh,
know? If you're having a couple of cocktails and you're getting too drunk, then these guys are cute over the side of the bar, you want to go home, you might think twice about that. You might say, well, wait a minute, I'm a little drunk right now, so maybe not tonight. Let's do another night, because I'm not thinking right. I might not use protection. All of a sudden, I have a kid that I got to have to abort.
well, one thing: men can't get pregnant, and if we could, there would be an appeal for an abortion. I mean, that pill would be legal if men
That's
could get
what
pregnant.
they have
If
that, but I'm not making light at abortion. I'm simply saying I understand it's a woman's choice to make a decision on her body, but that's kind of redundant when it comes to you caused that problem. So now you're gonna say, oh, how about you don't cause it in the first place, and then we're good. That's all. You know.
Okay,
I mean,
all
think
right,
about that, right? Do you think that's
right.
wrong, or do you think that's right? don't have that problem in the first place.
Well, we
You
can agree to
don't have
disagree.
sex with someone and knowing you could possibly get pregnant, and then after you get pregnant, sit and say, "Well, I'm going to abort the baby." What is that saying about you?
Well, I mean, there's situations and scenarios that we're not aware of, but and
Of
also,
course
I
they
mean,
are.
honestly, why do we want to have a woman who has another kid that she can't afford, that she goes now on to, assistance, and that money is coming from the government, which is coming from my taxes. So I'm thinking if this woman wants to have an abortion, because she don't want to bring a child into the world, or I mean, I,
I
it's a
understand
double-edged
that. It
sword.
goes back to what I just said. Then you should have thought about that before you got pregnant. If you knew you couldn't afford another child, what do you do with having sex with someone unprotected when you know it's possible you can get pregnant? Do you see what I'm saying? No matter how you slice it, think first. You can't just go haphazardly into it and say, "Oh, I can't afford another child. Let's get rid of it." Come on. How do you not have it in the first place?
Yeah, but
Honestly.
I mean, as gay men, I mean, we have sex, and there's sometimes I wish, I wish I was thinking right in the right side of mind, and I didn't. And you not only, you can't get pregnant, but you can catch diseases, and
Right, but we
you
can't blame these things on the fact that we didn't think right. Whose
right.
fault is that?
But there are medications, things
Yeah,
to you can do for
there's steps
yourself
to
as.
prevent this.
So
You know?
now they're just saying there's for women here's a preventative. You can take a pill and get in, have an abortion. It's her choice because it's her body. So that's why I say
Right, right. But here's the thing. It's like saying, because if you're going to say that it's a woman's choice to do what she wants with her body, then why isn't it the choice of a transgender person to do what they want with theirs? You don't want your penis no more? You're gonna cut it off, have a vagina. There you go. Why is that? Should that be any different? That's if you're going to allow women to have the choice of what they want to do. Why can't anybody have the choice of what they want to do with their own body? Right?
people like to have control.
Hmm. Exactly. People like to have controls. It comes down to. But I mean, but I am I am totally for women's rights. Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be? You know me, both of us. We're loving guys. We're passionate. You know what I mean? We believe in a lot of things that are good in this world. So I understand it. I do. I just simply want to say to all the women out there, you know, let's be a little more cautious, so we
Yeah.
don't have these situations happening. I understand if it's, yes, there can be accidents. Yes, there are certain situations, but you can't sit there and say they weren't avoidable. It's
No,
like
I
driving
mean
on the road
you.
at high speed and there's ice in the road. You don't think that maybe you should have slowed down?
No, right? No, no, you're right. And you bring back that point. It's actually taking responsibility for your actions. And
Yeah.
I think ultimately that's what it comes down to
Mhm.
is that you are responsible for your actions, and actions cause reaction. Um, so
Not that you want to skate in that. We can get away from that. We're not a political arena for these things. So, what is our other? I know we have other topics, didn't we?
yeah, I mean, what else do we talk about? I mean, I've been watching a lot of football. Hey.
Football?
Yeah, I watched last night the Lions. Oh my God, 5 interceptions they lost. It
I know
was
what you're
horrible. It was
talking about. People
horrible.
call them tight ends.
But
We can.
hey, I like them in their tight little spandex. But they actually, I was talking to a friend of mine, Ryan. Like, what do we got? He's thinking what the top two picks are the Eagles and the Baltimore Ravens. One or the other to go against. We know Kansas City's in. Kansas City's in. I mean, they're an incredible team. Kelsey. I mean, people. They give him. Hey, he's. It's funny because he had a little dance. I'll tell you what, it was better than Trump's dance. He had a little.
I don't buy anything on Kelsey. I think he's a good guy. You know what I mean? I think he and uh, uh, Taylor, they're doing it right. I mean, they're mega celebrities. They're going to be in the public eye, but they're not. I don't think they're abusing it. I don't think they're getting. You know what I mean? I think they're still both down to earth people. You know?
She like after her
You know what I
concert, like she gave all of her like all the roadies or all her dancers and the people lighting. She gave them a big tip. I mean, that's putting your money where your mouth is. I
And you
mean,
think they have that they're protected. I mean, they're mega stars. I mean, I would want to be protected too if I was a mega star. I don't want you jumping on me. I mean, I don't know what could happen. I could get hurt. I mean, I understand all that. But I think they're good people. I don't think there's anything There are celebrities, some celebrities who aren't good people. You know what I mean? There
No,
are
I
some.
know. Well, and you see a lot of the sports, since we were talking about the sports and stuff like that, where their houses are getting broken into. I don't know if you've been seeing that. Like yeah, thieves are going in, obviously while they know they're at a game. That's one of them got a couple of his rings taken.
Wow.
Super Bowl championship rings, and I mean it's happening. These brazen robberies and attacks, and it's the climate that we're going through, where it's the rhetoric and all this stuff that is it's whether it's on social media, whether you're doing it in person, you're attacking somebody. I know we all have an opinion, and we want to voice our opinions, but there is, you gotta chill out a little bit here. Us Americans, everybody's watching us. You see these other countries
Who's
that are,
laughing
they're,
at right
you
now?
know, they're, oh, what does Trump say? He wants to buy Greenland, Canada, and the Panama Canal. I'm like, okay, now first of all, you ain't gonna just buy them, and we don't deserve them, and then you're gonna change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Listen, there's something I gotta say, and we all know this. None of that stuff's going to happen.
I look at him and I see question marks all over him like the Joker. I said that to you.
Panama Canal.
Well, because first of all, I mean, it's it's how does he think he has that much power? I mean, that first of all, there's called the House and Senate that has to vote on this stuff,
Because
and
he does.
Canada, furthermore, being Canadian descendant, they're like, hell no, we don't
Oh
want to be
yeah,
a part of you.
they're laughing is what they're doing. They're not even going to say anything back because it's such a joke. It's like, why? Trump adds to what people he fuels the fire with his nonsense. You know what I mean? If whoever his public relations people are, or whoever it is that writes for him, or tries to make him look good in the public eye, they need another job or something because they're not doing well. If I were them, I'd tell them, Melissa, could you sit down and not say that, please?
Oh, I know,
You
I
look
know.
like an idiot, you know?
And it's funny, and I always question this, because even like when he said about he wants to make Canada part of the U.S., and then Justin, the Prime Minister of Canada, he's leaving office, so there's a little shakeup going on up there. But I'm assuming they're gonna have their stuff, you know they're straightening their stuff out. Canada
Canada's
always
not
does.
going to become part of the U.S. My goodness, there's some things that are just so far fetched. It's not funny. Come on, will he
Yeah.
overturn TikTok? Probably. He probably has that all set to do. I'm the savior. I saved all you people. Now you gotta love me. Whatever. Bow bow. I mean, But the Panama Canal, Gulf of Mexico, Canada. Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
How about
honestly,
we,
when
how about we be more concerned about the homeless? The price of food, and so many other things here in our own country. Why do we always have to step our feet in other people's business? Why?
Yeah, I know. Well, he's gonna. I mean, the first thing in office that he should really be worried about is California. I mean, honestly, when you take office, your priority should be getting those people their lives back together, and making sure these insurance companies are, paying their part. Because honestly, we pay for. I mean, I have homeowners insurance, car insurance. We pay these astronomical bills every year. You see the money you pay out, you pay out. So then when you actually ask for the help,
Mm-hmm.
then what do? They cancel you?
Yeah. Where's
Like,
your money? You had too many
where's your money?
accidents. You're done. What? Yeah, I know. I hear you. I hear you. This is why I hear you. This world. Like I said, there's too many problems here, and he talks about making America great again. Well, then how about you stay in America and help us to make America, not Canada, not Gulf of Mexico, not the Panama Canal, great again. America's here. It's not over there. It's not over there. It's not over there. It's here. He
Right.
needs to wake up and realize it's here. Here's where our problems are. Here's where we need help. Here in our own country, as we're begging for answers. And what's this
Yeah.
man doing? Worrying about other places that are no concern of his. You know?
Well, I realize that Greenland, the reason why I kind of looked this, I did some fact checking, but I guess there's a lot of natural minerals in Greenland, and that's why he wants it. And it's strategically for like warfare, with, Russia and all that. It's close by because Russia, I mean, we still see there, I mean, there's still Ukraine, I mean, that's still going on. And I mean, I was watching CNN, or not CNN, I was watching the BBC, which I've been watching the BBC news a lot, and the prisoners of war, I mean, I saw some heart wrenching prisoners, underfed, malnourished. I mean, it was scary, and I'm thinking if this is still, I know it's not our focus, but it's going on over there, and we're, with NATO, and he got us out of NATO before, and he'll probably do it again. I mean, I don't know if you're, he doesn't believe in global warming. There's these kind of beliefs that in his office, when he was in office previously 4 years ago, he was going to build an office. Didn't believe in global warming, and there's a lot of things, and we know this Earth. I mean, with these fires, with natural disasters that are happening, we are not being kind to Mother Earth.
Not at all. Never. And it's a shame. Again, there's so many problems here in America that need to be solved. We need to stay here, focus here, and actually make this country not necessarily great, but okay. Because
Yeah.
right now it's not okay. Can we at least get to okay? Never mind trying to reach for great, because we're far from that right now. We have too much
Right.
going on. We have
Mhm.
pedophiles. We have rapists. We have thieves. We have high grocery bills. We have fires. We have so many things that are happening right now that are all so important, that need to be looked at, that need to be talked about, that need to be rectified. You know, this is America. It isn't in Greenland. It isn't in Canada. You know, leave the Panama Canal alone. It's here. Why are we not trying to take care of us first? Why?
Yeah. Well, as a United States citizen, I guess we're just going to have to watch, and we
Yeah.
basically, I mean, I see a lot about the gay marriage thing. I mean, if we go back, being a gay man and gay marriage, I'm for it, and I see and I think it's Utah. They're actually putting on a vote into it again, trying to dismantle it, and I'm thinking, "Oof, what is this going to do? You know?
I don't know that they'll accomplish that. You know what I mean? They're all going to jump on all these things right now because Trump's about to go into office. So they think they have all the ammunition they need to do what they've got to do. Like I've said, this whole situation in Orlando isn't going to help matters at all. Will
No,
it get overlooked? I don't know. Will it be part of a defense people are going to use against the LGBT community? I don't know. Time will tell. Right now, it's not that big of an issue. It is on the news, but is it worldly? I don't know if it's worldly. I didn't investigate in that. But there are certain things I'd like to believe that we're not going to overturn. You know, we've sometimes things have gone too far to in the right direction, that undoing them is what's going to be wrong. You know what I mean?
right? Yeah, yeah.
It's going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of people, and not so much financially, emotionally. Do we not care about America? Why do we? I go back to it again. Do we not care about our own people? Our own feelings. Our own happiness. You break these marriages up. What are you saying? What are you
Uh,
doing? What kind of man are you?
uh,
You know what I
well,
mean? What kind of man are you when you don't feel anyone's pain?
no, because love is love is love. I mean, and it goes back. I don't. I mean, if you're an adult and you are two men or two women or a man and a woman or black or white, interracial. I mean, these are the things that we know we fought for as in the land of the free. These are rights that we fought for. So why are we pedaling backwards and trying to dismantle, the founding fathers?
Because here's the thing that people tend to not think about. Things move forward. It's called progress. You know what I mean? These things wouldn't have gotten voted into. These things wouldn't have become part of America if it wasn't where America was going. Do you know what I mean? gay marriage, rights for certain individuals, all of that. That's what makes America America. You take those things away, we're not America anymore. And people come here, people want to come here because of the things that we allow. Your freedom of speech, for you to be who you are as a human being. You know what I mean? All that stuff's what it's here for. Now you're going to deport people. Now you're going to take away their happiness, and you're going to take away their freedom. You're going to, what is that? What is that?
Because the people initially that were coming here, from South America, when we had the huge migrant, they just came over and they flooded over through Texas and through. I mean, obviously they were coming here because they wanted a better life because they were
Yeah.
being terrorized in their own country, and they came here for that American dream. And yeah, I understand. They've got to go through the process, and they've got
Yeah.
to go through being
That's true.
legalized and be, uh, uh, working class citizen and come in here and pay their taxes and get a social security number and work legally. Most of them, and I'll say this, and because I mean I know I have some friends that I mean they work their butts off, and a lot of them that work the jobs that under the table or however they're working, they do the jobs that most Americans don't want because most Americans become a little bit of we're a little lazy. I mean, we got all that money back with COVID hit, and we were getting the stimulus for not working because we had to live, and I think we got too used to getting handouts. We need to
Mhm.
go back to the you get results from hard work and putting in the effort.
You do. You do. They say that now that a lot of resorts and things like that are going to lose a lot of people. Cooks, maids, you know what I mean? All those people who, that these jobs.
Farm work, farm
You,
work. I mean, a lot of them were working in
you
farms
know,
in the middle, in the middle, the Midwest. They were doing the farmers picking the crops. It wasn't it wasn't Sally and Tim and Tom. It was Jose and Javier and this one and that. I mean, I hate to say it, but they were they were, and it's they would work sunrise to sunset, go home and do it all over again.
like I say, it's this. I'm a firm believer. If you open your mouth, insert foot, then it's going to be what it's going to be. If you take away these people and send them back, if you overturn marriage, if you take away the rights of women, there is going to be so much backlash, so many problems, so many issues. Then now you're going to have a whole different situation on your hands. You're going to create an absolute mess that simply could have been avoided by leaving things alone. We wouldn't have had these rights if American people didn't agree upon them. They were voted in. So people must have liked them.
Hmm.
I think if anything, I mean, I guess it should go to a vote. You know what I mean? It should just go to an open vote for women's rights, for deporting. For it should go to an open vote, just like you have to vote for the president. It should be an open vote. Why should we not be allowed to vote for these things as an American public? And say whether we agree or don't agree. See how many actual Americans believe in it.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
It could backfire. It could be bad,
Yeah.
but it could be
You're
good.
you're right. It could be because if we're sitting here and we're voicing our opinions and we're having these battles and picking and being a bully and voicing our opinion without the compassion of choice. We need to
Thinking,
have yeah.
yeah, thinking first. So I always say, my mother always said, God bless her heart, you know what I mean? An ounce of prevention, she always says, an ounce of prevention is all it takes to avoid an accident, a pregnancy, anything. Yeah, an ounce of prevention, think first. I do
Yeah.
it all the time. I think, because the other day, and this is a great big example, but I was texting. I almost got in an accident. I said to myself, hey, Peter, how about you don't do that anymore? An ounce of prevention. Let's not text anymore. Nothing is worth that important for you to look on the phone, wake up, and all find yourself turning white as you're slamming on your brakes because you're 2 inches from the back of the bumper of someone's car. I could have had an accident, a really bad one. You know, Ounce of prevention. So you know what? If I want to prevent that from happening again in the future with me, how about I don't do it?
Right.
No prevention. I
Yeah.
mean, it might be a
Yeah.
small example, but it's like with anything. Think before you do. Honestly,
Yeah.
you got to put a sticker on your forehead or put a timer on your watch or a bell around your neck. Whatever you got to do to remind yourself to be more careful in your life, then do that. I do it. I do it all the time. I make notes. I things are on my phone. It tells me, reminds me, to think about something before you do it. Honestly, it's not. I mean, yeah, it can be hard for some people, but if you train yourself, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
you don't go outside in your underwear when it's 2 minus 2. Don't you stop and think for a second? Maybe I should put on a jacket, maybe some pants. So if you can do that, why can't you think about other things that you think about? Honestly, it's just I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But again, there's so many millions of Americans in this American people in this world. Everyone has the way they operate. Everyone's going to. We are a ragtag fugitive fleet.
Right. And don't argue. I mean, I know you have a discussion and don't argue. I mean, it goes back. I mean, there was a quote I put on Facebook, and actually it was, before you argue with someone, ask yourself, is that person even mentally mature enough to grasp the concept of different perspectives? Because if not, there's absolutely no point. So, ask yourself, obviously first, if this person's bothering you, and if you try to, rebuttal, or, have try to give them feedback, if they're not going to be, have a grasp of that or a concept of difference, is it even worth, opening your mouth? Because my mother said to me, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Turn around and walk away. Just walk away, because you know what? You're the worst. The outcome might be the latter, which is going to be,
Right.
violence.
Right. It's like road rage. You know.
Yeah.
I don't have road rage. If someone wants to be on my bumper and they're trying to pass me, I'm just gonna move aside and do your thing, baby. Move. That's your speed and taking, not mine. It's your accident up ahead if you hit someone because you're going so fast. It's not mine. I don't know the reason for speeding. I don't know if maybe someone pregnant in the car and they get to the hospital. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they're late for the McDonald's special. I don't know what the reason is. But what do I care? It's not my business.
Right.
You know,
Right.
People sit and go, "Oh yeah, no, I'll just slow down and put the brake." What? Why? Why?
Yeah.
That man simply
Yeah.
just wants to go by you. That's all. So let him go.
Yeah.
Courtesy. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
it happens all the time. It's like I said. It's all of that. It's being preventive. You know what I mean? I do it all the time. You don't. It's like being a flaming gay person. Forgive me for saying this. And walking into the straightest bar in America. What do you think might happen?
Exactly.
Maybe you should think about that first, huh?
Yeah.
And so let's just wrap this up with those points I'm making. Now, with this political arena being the way it is and all this stuff going against our community, please, people, think before you do something. It's like the bars in, the Southern Nights situation. I'm not saying don't go to this club. I'm not, I can't tell anyone what to do any more than they can tell me what to do, but I'm saying use caution. We all remember Pulse, don't we? Okay? Someone was
Yeah.
disgruntled. And what happened? You think they're
Yeah.
not disgruntled now, what these two men did? And even though it's not your responsibility, even though you have nothing to do with it, there are people out there who, they aren't thinking that. They're thinking all gays are bad.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
these two men, all gays are now bad. So all gays now must suffer. You don't know that someone might not walk in that bar and unload. You don't.
It's true. It's interesting because you say that too. Because I put out a song, Michael Jackson, "Keep It in the Closet," and I said, "Oh no, not again." And I was thinking, because I'm from a small town, so I just know that. I mean, I have friends and stuff that will have my back, but you gotta be a little bit
You have to
carefuler now,
go
because
with caution.
caution.
You
Yeah.
have to. Even today, if you're going anywhere that might be unsafe, bring someone with you. If you're going out with some friends, for now, I'd like to believe that all this will pass and we'll all be okay. I'm a true believer in that. But let's just be cautious in everything. Be cautious when it comes to sex. Be cautious when it comes to going out to a club. Be cautious with your road rage. Be cautious in general, because in this arena right now, with Trump coming into office, there's going to be a lot of people who feel they can do whatever they want to do now. Look, they're already saying bad words and posting Lord knows what on Facebook. That's just the tip of the iceberg. it's only going to get worse from here. I hope that it doesn't, but I fear it may. You know?
Yes. Yeah. So it's, other than the P and P, it's the C's. It's the caution, the compassion, class. It's funny how we take these, these words, these, acronyms, and it is. You're right. I like caution. Be very careful.
Yeah,
Careful.
I said to someone at work the other day who didn't, I'm not out at work. Not to. Again, I say this. We're coming to our end here, but I say this the same way a heterosexual person does not need to tell you they're heterosexual. Well, you do not need to tell someone you're a gay. That is nobody's business. Live your life, be you. Okay. So I don't have to tell anyone that. It's not a disclaimer before you get this job. Tell us your sexuality. That's not a thing. Will it become a thing with Trump in office? I don't know. But right now, it's not a thing. My point is, someone wanted to see our podcast, and I knew that he went to go look at it. He was going to realize that I was part of the LGBT community, and that was fine. I simply said to him, "Listen, you're going to realize, what I'm about." I said, "So do me a favor, please keep that to yourself. No one here knows that, and they don't need to know." So I took that caution automatically. Protect myself. I trust. I know you. You're not going to hurt me. That's why you're interested in knowing about this. But it doesn't mean someone else here might have, another motive. All of a sudden, their disposition towards me has changed because they found out. If you want to assume, that's great. Assumption doesn't make it, doesn't make it correct. You can assume what you want to. But if you know for a fact, well, that's a different story.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, as I say about prevention, I put that right in there. I said, you keep that to yourself. It's no one needs to know this. Only 2 people know it. My job. No one needs to know. Why is anybody? They're gonna know now. We have this podcast.
And even though I remember when we first were coming out with P and P, people were saying because it was a play on words. P and P, party and play. We as the gay community know what that means, and we got flack. You remember we got a little flack, like, "Oh, we know what P and P is," and I'm like, "No, that's what you think it is." So you're assuming, and when you assume, you make a man out of you and me.
Yes, we have a couple of followers who I meant to like hit them up. It was on Blue Sky, remember?
Yeah.
We have all these followers all of a sudden, and I'm like, and they were all kind of X-rated, and I'm saying to myself, I might want to. If you notice in a lot of our social media posts now, I hyphenate Peter and Paul behind the word podcast because I need people to understand. No, we're not smoking some stuff here. We're in leather. And
the only smoke that I'm smoking is sage, honey. We burning that sage.
So,
and on that cup of tea.
On that note, this ends another PNP podcast. Does it not?
Namaste. I'm a namago. Hey, Peter. Use caution, compassion, and class.
Why is every time we're ready to end this thing, you got to crack me up?
Hey, if I can make you laugh and smile, that's a good day, right?
Yes, and let me interject really quickly before we close. As people, if you see anything behind me that kind of looks like it's a mess, I'm in the process of moving. Change is. We'll mention that in another podcast about change.
Moving on up.
It comes, it goes, and so please forgive my background. I know Paul has this wonderful ambiance behind him, and I'm always got some sort of chaos going on. My life can be chaotic at times, it certainly can, but I'm trying to put it all back in order. So hopefully next time I broadcast, I'll have something cute behind me as well. I'm working on it. So on that note, folks, we will see you again on next Sunday. I'm not sure what the topic will be, but I'm sure it'll be steaming hot.
It'll be after the inauguration. So, peace.
Yes, post-inauguration. Yeah, okay. And other things.
And other things, yeah.
So now, no, folks, I'm leaving. I don't even know why I do that. You got me doing that now.
Well, it's good. Put your hands together and just,
pray.
Pray.
All right.
There's another P.
There's another P. Till next time, folks.
All right.
Be safe and be good.
Bye.
Peace out.